Dude, I appreciate you. So you guys weren't together?
No. We were just wanting to.
Dude,
come in.
you guys are so patient, man.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, I appreciate you guys, man. Okay, what brings you guys over, my dear brothers?
So I'm an atheist. But
Okay.
I see the different religions on this boardwalk.
Sure.
I'm interested to know more about different religions.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just curious. Like, okay, that lady will say that what you're preaching, you're a heretic, whatever, right?
Sure.
Probably. Maybe I disagree with her, right?
Sure.
And I'm just curious, like, what makes your, Islam correct versus like Christianity? I know, like, there are a lot of Christian. The Quran has a lot of the Bible, stories in different forms, the same prophets in different across the religions. But I'm just kind of curious.
That's actually a wonderful question. Let's tackle it one question at a time.
Sure.
And please feel free to ask any questions that you like. There's no such thing as a bad question.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I appreciate what you're doing versus having a megaphone and just screaming at everyone.
Yeah. Well, if you see the way that Christians preach, they preach at people. They don't talk to people and discuss and come to a conclusion or anything like that. It just boom. This is what it is. I tell you what to do, and you listen to me. I order you up. For me, I can't do that, bro. Like, I'm not the type of person. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you the information. You choose what you want to do.
Exactly.
And this is the Islamic way of doing things. Right? So already that's different. What seems like a better method?
I think the latter one.
Okay, cool. Because one method is going to push people away. Because majority of people have heard the message of Christianity, and what have they done? They rejected it. Now they're atheists or they're agnostic. Majority of atheists and agnostic people today are ex-Christians. Right? So Christianity has actually done the opposite of what it's supposed to do. It's pushing people away from God than bringing people closer to God. So when it comes to Islam, what makes Islam different? Very, very simple. The word Islam just means submission to God. Right? The word Muslim means a person who chooses to submit God. What makes Islam different than any other religion? It's the only religion that worships God and God alone, without any partners, without any equals. There's no images, there's no idols, there's nothing like that. It's the only pure monotheistic religion. For instance, let's talk about Judaism and Christianity now, okay? So in Judaism, they believe in one God. Yeah, no problem, brother, no problem. So Judaism, right? They believe in one God, right? But they believe, right, in Genesis 2, it says that God needed rest, right? That God, after the seventh day, God needed rest and this and that, right? We don't believe in a God that gets tired, that needs rest, that possibly needs food. We don't believe in a God like that, right? For us, we believe that's blasphemous to say about God. They also said God was regretful after the flood of Noah. It's like, oh, God regretted created human being. God does not make mistakes. So if he was regretful, that means he's not all wise and he's not all knowing, and then he makes mistakes. So we believe there's a lot of flaws in their beliefs about God, and if anything, they belittle God, right? Then now let's talk about the Christians, right? Now the Christians, they believe in the idea of a Trinity: Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Polytheism, that doesn't make sense, right?
For us, and they believe each one is 100% God. 100%, 200%, 300%. Yeah, the math doesn't add up. You can't all be 100%, right? Either they're all 33.3% and then equals to 100, but you can't all be 100%. The math doesn't add up, right? Also, they say the Father is the one true God, that Jesus is the one true God. They also say the Holy Spirit is the one true God. We don't believe in that. I'll tell you what the Quran says about that, actually. Do you mind if I go ahead and bring that up? Okay, cool.
And then also, you probably will mention this, but if Jesus is God, then how can he die, right? If he resurrected.
Well, yeah, very, very simple. Like, I guess what I could do is I could share with you what we believe about God, and then it'll show you the differences about what others believe about God and what makes us different. Okay. So here, I'll go ahead and give you a book, my brother, so you could read along with me. Cool, right? And then, so another thing, what the Quran is different. The reason the Quran is different than any other holy book, quote unquote holy book, because this is the only book that's actually holy. All the other holy books were named by people, like the Holy Bible, right? Someone just named it. They just named it holy. They just called it holy. It's not actually a holy book from God. You get what I'm trying to say? They just declared it to be holy. You feel me? So that's not how it works, though. You feel me? If it's the religion of God, who's supposed to declare it? God, right? Not humans, right? So what makes the Quran different is this book has been preserved letter for letter, word for word, right? In this original language, which is in Arabic.
Compared to translations, which may lose the meaning of the.
Exactly. Like Jesus spoke Aramaic, right? I think the original Bible they have today is in Greek, then translated to different languages, right? But no one reads the original. No one reads the original. And there is almost like no, I mean, when it comes to that, dude, there's so many things you can keep going, so many different angles, right?
And it's also like some churches, they'll have like, one church will have like a pride flag outside, and another church will say, no, that's terrible. Like, how can, if it's the same book, how can they come to such different conclusions about it? Like, something either, they must have missed something, right? I mean, I don't, but the Islam, I know it's very consistent across.
It is very consistent, but there are different sects within Islam as well. So I'm not gonna like be dishonest with you and say there's not different sects. Like within Christianity, I would say there's over 66,000 different sects, right? Within Islam, there are different sects as well, but they all believe in the same Quran. They believe in Allah as the one true God, and they believe Prophet Muhammad is the Prophet of God. But all of them, they can't, like when it comes to the denomination of Christianity, they all disagree on who God is. And that's a big deal, bro. That's a big deal. One group says this is God, the other group says this other thing is God. But we all agree on who God is. We all read the same books, but it's just a different understanding afterwards. Okay, so I'll go ahead and recite the original in Arabic, and I'll translate for you in English. Any question you have, feel free to ask. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. So it says right here, my dear brother, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, right? I'll go ahead and tell you what page it is. I just said right here, you're like, where are you guys opening up to? Right, so it is page 374 at the very end, chapter 112, okay? Page 374, and then we'll just go over it line by line, all right? And then you tell me if you agree or disagree with these statements, okay? So this is what we believe about God, right? It says, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, right? That He is Allah, one and indivisible, meaning God is absolutely one, and He cannot be divided into parts. So when they say Father, Son, Holy Spirit, they're dividing God into parts. We believe God is absolutely one, not divided into parts, okay? God, the sustainer needed by all, meaning everyone and everything needs Him, but He does not need anyone or anything. Okay? Does that make sense? Like if there was a God,
He would
right?
not need a mother or family, whatever, right?
Yes, and He wouldn't need food, He wouldn't need rest, He doesn't need us. Like for instance, do you think God needs our prayers?
No. I guess He doesn't need it, right? But
No. Let's say if the whole world stopped praying, does that change the greatness of God? No.
He would just be pretty upset, I would assume, right?
Yeah, He would be upset. But the thing is, who has more to lose, us or Allah? Because the thing is, if we fuck up, like, excuse my language, if we mess up, right? Who's like, we're the ones who's to be punished. Right. But if we do good, we're the ones going to be rewarded. So at the end of the day, it does not affect Allah whatsoever. We believe this earth is simply a testing ground for human beings to see if they're going to follow God or they're going to go against God and follow the devil, either knowingly or unknowingly. Now let's continue, right? He has never had offspring, right? Meaning that we are not the children of God, right? Christians say we are the children of God, right? If we're the children of God, doesn't that make us little gods?
That's right. Like we're then all the children of I'm the son of God too, right?
Yeah.
Jesus is
Yeah. And then we will all be part of God or something like that. We don't believe that. We believe we're the children of Adam and Eve, which are the first human beings. We're the children of the first humans. We're not the children of God, right? Cool. We are the creation of God, and our relationship with God is far beyond the relationship between father and son. For some reason, they're in love with the idea of father and son relationship. You know, I mean, I don't know what it is, you know? And there's none comparable to Him. And also the next line says, nor was He born. So Almighty God can never be born, so therefore Jesus cannot be God. Because Jesus was obviously born, He had a miraculous birth. We believe in the miraculous birth, but we don't believe that God started off as a little baby, suckled on the breast, and you know, all this type of stuff. He can't die, he doesn't eat, He doesn't forget things. You know, we don't believe this is the attributes of God. And there's none comparable to Him. So this is what makes Islam different than any other religion. We're the only religion that respects God the way He needs to be respected, but we're the only ones that worship God the way He needs to be worshipped. We're the ones that actually follow what God says. Everybody else is basically doing their own thing. They're mixing in their own thing, and they're basically being a middleman between human and God. Yeah, in a sense, they want to be the middleman, but why do they want to do that? Have you ever thought about that?
They want power for themselves.
There you go. And
money.
Don't forget, money, dollar bill, yo. You know what I mean? Money runs everything, bro. So why, and you know why there's so many attacks against Islam? Because Islam gets rid of the middleman between human and God. We say you don't need a priest. You don't need a pope. You don't need no one. You talk to God directly. There is no middleman. You don't need me. You don't need no one, bro. You talk to God directly. But guess what? That destroys the business of religion. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why they have many issues when it comes to Islam. Also, Islam, it says to not drink alcohol, right? So that's going to destroy alcohol industry, right? $1 trillion industry. Also says do not gamble, right? That there's far that you have far more to lose than you have to gain when it comes to gambling. Right. And we've seen that with people. They gambled, they lost their houses, they lost their families, they end up ending their own lives, you know? So then also, what else? It says, that women should be modest. So it's going to destroy the fashion industry. If you see everyone's in booty shorts today, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to destroy the whole fashion industry. And the biggest of all, we don't allow interest, right? And the banks, right? The banking system, that's one of the biggest systems today that are running the world, right? Like Switzerland, all the Swiss banks. Like, why do you think Europe is so hateful against Islam? Because that's the main banking systems all run through there. And if Islam prevails, their Ponzi scheme is destroyed. They no longer can profit off the ignorance of people. So this is just like a. Do you have any questions about what I just shared with you?
I do. I mean, I think that I definitely agree with you that I think Islam resolves some of the contradictions in Christianity. So I did actually read a little bit about Islam before, and I spoke to some Christians that I know about some of those questions. And for instance, I asked this Christian the question about the Trinity, right? And his response was simply that you may not understand it, but that's.
It's have faith. That tap on the shoulder, have faith.
But I'm just curious though. Like, I know that the Quran says these things, but how would you distinguish your faith from a Christian's faith? And like if you were to believe in the existence of a God, how would you justify that belief without necessarily looking at the book or looking at it, in some other way? I mean, you probably agree with me that do you agree that Allah exists to 100% certain?
100%, yeah. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Right, but I guess how would you justify that belief?
Well,
I mean,
like I guess from maybe from your point of view, right? Like as an atheist point of view, right? Like how can you, right? So most of the people, how you guys doing? Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. Yeah, these are all free. So whatever you guys want, feel free to take it. Okay. Cool. So yeah, when it comes to like for instance, like an atheist, right? Most people, they like to deny the existence of God, but no one denies the existence of the devil. Did you ever think about that?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say the devil exists either.
Okay, but I'm just saying most people, they're commonly, they don't say the devil doesn't exist. You get what I'm trying to say? Because there are people out here, like for instance, I used to be a bodyguard for the most elite celebrities in the world, mainly in Los Angeles, right? And I could say, bro, from my experience, they worship a satanic being. Like they offer rituals. There's things that they do, to worship this entity that they believe in, right? So for me, that's what kind of brought me towards closer to God, was knowing the existence of the devil was real. So once I realized the devil was real, then it made me really think about things. Okay, wait, is the devil is real? And there's people really committed to this, this deity and worshiping it and offering sacrifices, all these things to it, right? Then that means God has to be real. And if God is real and the devil is real, that means the afterlife is real. And then, yeah, no problem, brother. God bless you guys, okay? And so if the devil is real, then that means God is real. And if God is real, that means the afterlife is real, right? So I just put all the pieces together, and it made me realize, like, damn, I got to go search for the truth. And that's when I opened up the Quran about 10 years ago, and I found it to be the truth, my dear brother. The absolute truth, because everything in there, it makes sense, bro. They're not telling you nothing, like, weird. You get what I'm saying? Saying like this water bottle is God, that you can worship worship it, or saying that we're gods as well. But if we're gods, then guess what? We shouldn't need to eat.
Like there's no bread and wine and breaking that.
No. None of that, the blood of Christ and eat the flesh and no, dude, that's like satanic, bro. Right. Like, and another thing, think about the whole concept of human sacrifice for forgiving sins. That's insane, bro. Like, how do you not see the evil within that? Right. You get what I'm trying to say? Like when you look at Islam, it's very pure, bro. It's very, very pure. Like, have you ever walked into a mosque before?
I've been near mosques before. I've been in India. They have a lot of mosques, Muslims there. So I've not been inside.
Yeah, but you see, when you go inside, have you been inside a church?
Yeah.
So if you see, when you went inside a church, you see images and all these stuff, right?
They have in the center. They have Jesus on the cross.
Boom. Yeah, everything, right? Yeah, right. So when you go into a mosque, guess what? It's all carpets. You take off your shoes, right? Everyone's on the same floor. The priest is not on a higher floor than you. like preaching at you. Everyone is prayed together on the same level. We're all equal in front of God. Black, white, Spanish, Indian, doesn't matter what. We're all shoulder to shoulder, line by line. When it comes
in the Hajj, that everyone's wearing the white.
everyone, but do you know why?
Because
For all of us to come to God in an equal way. Let's say if I'm far more wealthier than you won't even know it. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing to separate us anymore. We're all humans. We're all one. So when it comes to Islam, Islam solves all the problems of the world. But you have to understand, we're living in a society now where the devil is the strongest thing he's ever been. In the beginning of time, nobody listened to the devil. But as time has progressed, as things have progressed, as humans have gone away from God, now the devil is the most powerful he's ever been. In the past, no one used to listen. Everyone knew that he was trying to misguide me and to be on the truth. But now society has kind of fallen, and that's why we believe we're coming towards the end times, and where we believe Jesus is going to come back and then bring the peace back to earth again.
So you do believe Jesus?
Yeah, we do believe Jesus is going to come back.
Muhammad will return?
No. We don't believe Muhammad is the Messiah. We believe he is the final prophet that came with the final revelation, which is in your hands. And he's the only prophet that came for all of mankind. Right? We believe that there were different prophets and messengers that came. Moses, Jesus, Abraham. But they were only sent to certain people at that certain time. They were not sent for the whole world. You get what I'm saying? That's why the gospel that was given to Jesus, the Torah given to Moses, was not preserved because it's not meant to be preserved. You get what I'm trying to say? The Quran is the only book that was meant to be preserved and for all people for the rest of time after the Prophet Muhammad.
Okay, so about Jesus, right? So the gospel is not.
Well, come closer, by the way, so I don't have to yell. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Oh yeah, you can come closer, but yeah, still here.
No, so you think that the gospel is no longer relevant as when Muhammad came and gave his or understood the revelation. The gospel is no longer relevant.
Well, when they say the Gospels, they say the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Right.
It's not the Gospel of Jesus. It didn't come from a prophet of God.
Yeah.
Why the hell should we trust it?
Right.
Every single holy book has came to a prophet of God that proved himself with miracles. Who the hell are this Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Who are these guys?
Right.
And no one's name was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John at that time. That's an Arab dude. They were in they were like in Arab. They were in the Middle East, bro.
Right.
Whose name is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, bro?
Yeah.
These are English names.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything about that makes absolutely no sense. And the Quran has already told us that the books of the past have been corrupted and have been changed, and they told us they've been changed for money and for power. Yeah. And they sold basically the revelations of God for a measly price.
Right.
And they will pay the consequences of doing that.
Right. No, I mean, I think I understand. From what you're saying is that there are a lot of contradictions in Christianity, right, versus Islam, and so Islam resolves many of those contradictions, right? But going back, I guess so you mentioned that you observed people worshiping the devil, right? And they had certain beliefs that a particular religion, right? What about like the Hindus have their own like creation myth, and sure that there may be disputes over what constitutes that, but what if God is just something entirely different, or maybe we're in a simulation or something, I don't know, and so for me that, I guess, just because one religion has more contradictions than another religion,
Doesn't make it true.
exactly.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah, just because Christianity is false, that doesn't make Islam true.
right. Exactly.
Yes.
That's only my only thing. That so I was just wondering. But I think it is. So I can definitely observe, the culture and stuff. I feel like people do need a God to believe in, and I think that a belief in a God is better for society. I'm just, it's just whether or not that is the truth or not. It's something that I.
Well, I'll be honest with you, my brother. A person who there's a difference between a person who believes in a creator and a person who doesn't believe in a creator. A person who believes in a creator has peace in his heart. A person, like, if you don't believe in, I could almost guarantee you don't have peace in your heart.
True.
But you know why? Because you can only find peace in your heart by knowing who your creator is and knowing your purpose in life.
Right.
If you don't know why you were created, where you're going, bro, it's just a state of confusion.
Nihilism.
It's like a state of confusion. Everything you look around is a question mark. Who wants to live that way? I lived that way for a certain point in my life, but I was tired of that, bro. It was time I looked for answers, and I spent years looking for answers, and I finally found the answers I was looking for.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, all the answers that you're looking for will be in that book, my brother. You just have to read it with an open mind and open heart. And the thing about the Quran, it speaks directly to you, in like first person. It's like God is talking to you in that book. You get what I'm trying to say? And it does talk to the non-believers as well. So Allah's gonna ask you questions. That book asks you questions. Like, did you really think this? like you know, like it's going to question like your mind state, and it's going to also correct your mind state as well.
Right.
Cool, my brother.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely read it. Thank you for giving me this.
Absolutely. Well, what about you, my brother? Where are you on your journey? I appreciate you being patient, by the way, brother.
Man, what's your name?
My name is Wahab.
George, man.
Yeah.
I'm Huawei, man.
Okay, thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bro. Yes, brother.
I'm definitely more of an agnostic. I don't believe that there isn't. I don't believe that there is yet. I mean, because there's so many different ways to explain the world. There's religion, there's science, there's any other way. There's, what if it's a simulation so far in the future that someone just decided to take a look back and create something new just because, or they want to study something. I feel like there's so many infinite possible solutions to why we're here or why something is the way it is that it really is just finding something that appeals what you find is your true like sense, what really defines you towards it. So I try to find more things in like spiritualistic, finding something that matters to you in everything that you see.
Okay, that's very true. You know, another thing too, I noticed about like a lot of like I would say because I know you guys aren't atheists, right? You guys are agnostic, right? But I noticed it's only in the first world countries that there are such thing as atheists. If you go to like Mexico, like there's no Mexican that won't believe in God because they know there's witches there doing magic. If you go to any tribe in Africa, it's very open that there's tribes they do magic. They worship the devil. You get what I'm saying? They talk to these spirits and different things. They're speaking to something in the spiritual world. So that means there is an unseen world. You get what I'm saying? That we are not aware of. And who knows the unseen world? The Creator. Because He's the one who created it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. But I would say that I think the sort of an atheist, whatever, secular explanation for that would be that humans have certain biases in their brains that make them want to see patterns and believe in certain things that may not be truly there. For instance, like people have a way of sort of paying attention to things that support their belief and ignoring things that don't. For instance, people who go and my parents are Hindu, right? So we believe in Hinduism. They believe in that, and so they'll pray to God for something to happen, and then something will happen, and then they'll find a way to explain it in a way that says, oh, God was watching out for me all this time.
So actually, I can explain that from an Islamic perspective, right? So there's people who worship these idols, they worship these different things, and they pray to it. For instance, like I think there's some culture where they worship the Day of the Dead or something like that. I think the Hispanic culture, they have this idea called the Day of the Dead, right? Well, they'll put offerings to the dead, right? They'll leave the room, and suddenly their pieces of what they put are gone.
And they will assume.
And they will assume that their belief is correct. But guess what's happening? That's where the devil comes in. The shaitan is there to misconstrue the truth and make you believe in falsehood. You get what I'm saying? So let's say if someone believed that they're feeding their dead relative, right? The jinn, there's such thing as a jinn. When we believe in the metaphysical world, right? They live in the same world as us, right? But they're in a different dimension. They're called jinns. Okay? Genie, yes, right? So there's jinns, right? So these jinns, they are there to, there's good ones and evil ones. So the evil ones are here to misconstrue things, to lie to people, to misguide people, right? To take them with them to the hellfire, right? Because they've chosen to follow the devil. They want to get people to follow the devil along with them, right? So what they'll do is they'll eat like a piece of the fruit or make it go missing, and suddenly that person will increase in their disbelief. Now they believe that this idol is actually providing for them. It's actually doing things for them, but it was actually just the jinn increasing them in their disbelief. But Allah says only those who disbelieve, they choose disbelief. This is a choice. You have to choose to disbelieve. And then same thing, if you want the truth, you have to choose to want the truth. You get what I'm trying to say? So there's all a choice that we decide if we want to follow God or if we want to be rebellious towards God. But automatically, when you're rebellious towards God, you're automatically following the devil. Consciously or unconsciously, you're already following the devil. And know that the devil is the enemy of mankind. He does not want anything good for you. The Creator wants everything that's good for you. Cool? Thank you so much, my brother. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys having open mind and open heart, bro. Do you mind if I offer you some more gifts? I'd love to offer you a prayer mat from the holy city of Mecca, my brother. Please.
I think we don't have any bags with us, but I think
you could put it like, let's say it has a rope on it, so you could put it on your shoulder, boom, like that.
Okay.
You get what I'm trying to say? I insist, bro. But if you don't want it, it's up to you, bro. It's all 100% free, though. Yeah, but whatever color you like. Don't pick that one just because I grabbed it. You know what I mean? Oh, you like that one? Okay, cool. Would you like one as well, my brother? Okay, cool. No problem. Do you mind if I give you a prayer manual that teaches you at least how to worship the Most High? Cool. And this is a gift from me to you, okay, my brother? I appreciate you guys having open mind and open heart, okay? God bless you, my brother. God bless you, my brother.
Oh man, you're doing a good job, bro.
Thank you, my brother. What's your name, man?
George.
George.
What's your
My
name?
name is Wahab.
Why don't we push each other to read the Quran? Quran is the only Quran app in the world that allows you to add friends and family. Every time they read, it notifies you. Every time you read Quran, it notifies them. It pushes each of you to read more Quran. The Prophet ﷺ told us to compete in good deeds. Download Quranly, try it free for 7 days, and change your life with the words of Allah.
تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير